about a month since we were at this location to renovate this existing turf into a newer, improved cultivar that will be more disease tolerant, have darker green color, and improve the aesthetic appeal of the location. Let's review how we got from there to here. First of all, we took the existing turf and scalped it down with a mower at step-down mowing heights from relatively high to relatively low to open it up to receive the seed. We then aerified 3 times in multiple directions, once again to make little holes for the seed to fall in and protect that emerging seedling. We applied a starter fertilizer with a herbicide because this is a spring seeding. If it was a fall seeding, we wouldn't need to apply the herbicide with the starter fertilizer. Then we set the irrigation cycles on a 3-time-a-day cycle, and in the last month we've backed that down to about a 1-day a cycle. Now let's look around and kind of see what we need to do for the next several months. The key to a successful renovation is ensuring that that new seedling has ample opportunity to grow and not be damaged by traffic such as mowing or traffic from children playing in the yard, so the lawn must be protected. This renovation has been relatively successful. The lawn is physically thicker, but the real benefits will arise later in the season when we get into the disease time. This lawn was notorious for getting summer patch, gray, and other pathogens, and now because of the new improved varieties that we've put into the lawn, that shouldn't occur anymore, and we're really looking forward to seeing how much improvement happens with this renovation. But right now you can see that it's just thicker, it just looks darker green. It has been well on its way to being a much better lawn. The problems you'll often encounter with a renovation procedure is that as these new seedlings are emergent, you're also going to be putting a lot of moisture on there, and that's going to be just ideal for the weeds to come in as well. Even if you've used a starter fertilizer with pre-emergent herbicide, which will control crabgrass and some of the others, there are weeds that won't be controlled in that particular environment, and they'll come up in there. You must not get over anxious in trying to control those weeds, because what you'll do is try to apply a herbicide. You might apply a herbicide that you've been very comfortable with in an established lawn, when in fact that can be very damaging to good seedlings, to new and young seedlings. So our rule of thumb is that you want to get 2 legitimate mowings on the new seedlings. Now when you look at a lawn that you've renovated, you may not be able to see them, but look in the bare spots, look in those areas, and make sure you're physically mowing those twice, because you're going to continue mowing practices on the existing turf, and even though you may have run over the surface in the last month 3, maybe even 4 times, you're not physically removing anything from the new seedlings. When you physically are doing that, when you are removing something off the top of those, and you've done that several times, that ensures you that that seedling, or now it's actually a little more mature, will be able to take the herbicide or whatever else you might do. This may be late in the summer or maybe even early fall. Sometimes you're just going to have to tolerate the fact that there's going to be weeds in there and just kind of turn your head a little bit or mow them off when you mow the process, because you're going to be well on your way to establishing a very nice lawn. Some of the other things you might need to be concerned about: can you put down a grub control product? In a Kentucky bluegrass lawn, we would suggest a grub control product, and we know that most of the new chemistries that many of the homeowners have available to them are safe on new seedlings. So that said, make sure you check the label, make sure that it is safe on new seedlings, but I would suggest, especially in a Kentucky bluegrass turf, that you consider the application of a fertilizer merit combination or a fertilizer grub control combination to make sure that you control those grubs if indeed they do appear on your lawn or historically have done so. So those are 2 key steps. Avoid the herbicides and also still consider the use of a grub control product. Also be aware of other pests that might be only coming in on seedling turf as opposed to more mature turf, certain pathogens, etc. But generally under our conditions, we really don't see that being a major issue in a lawn or a high height of cut situations. So you've got several things you need to be concerned about in the process. The amazing thing is that in spite of all the weather conditions and everything else that we have in the state of Nebraska, the grass will come up. It'll look really, really good. You just got to take care not to overdo certain things, not to overdo herbicides, not to get overly anxious about weeds in and around the turf, and let that turf establish itself like it's meant to be.